Welcome to the Dental School Guide podcast, your ultimate destination for all things dentistry. I'm Dr. Tanner Townsend, your guide through the complex world of dental education. Join us as we uncover the secrets of acing dental school admissions, navigating residency programs, and exploring career opportunities. Please share and enjoy. Real quick, just wanted to make all you pre-dental students out there aware of a resource. If you've ever been worried about getting into dental school or are wanting to get into that school of your dreams, then you definitely want to check out a program called Dental School Guide. In the program, we walk you through how to save money, time, and heartache when applying to dental school. There's so much fluff out there when it comes to resources for getting into school, and we are streamlining all of that. With our comprehensive digital course, expert mentorship, and personalized application review services, you'll have everything you need to stand out to admission committees. Take advantage of this amazing resource that will help you increase your chances of getting into dental school. You'll want to check out dentalschoolguide.com. Check it out. Welcome to the Dental School Guide podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Tanner Townsend, and I am here today with Haneen, and we are doing once again our new segment where we answer questions for pre-dental students. So Haneen, we are super excited to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so first and foremost, tell us a little bit about your background and what you're currently at, where you're currently at, and where you're at in terms of getting ready for dental school.
I just graduated from College of Staten Island, and I'm actually in my gap year, going before dentistry, so I can experience more into the dental field. I did get certified as a dental assistant. I did a program which made me really want to go into dental school, especially that when I was like 11 years old, I was visiting the dental office. So, yeah. And I'm currently applying now this cycle to get into summer 2026.
Okay, well, that's very exciting. We're excited for you. That's wonderful. Well, we want to make this section as actionable and helpful for you as possible. So let's answer some of your questions. Now, what questions do you have about your specific situation that we can help answer for you about getting into school?
What do dental schools most look at when reviewing applicants? Like, is it more towards grade and the DAT score, or is it like the experiences that you have?
Good question. So they have, I would say almost all schools have minimum requirements that you need to hit to be considered a competitive applicant. Every school is slightly different. Most of them, I would say, have a minimum requirement of about a 16 with the old scoring system or a 17 with the old DAT scoring system on every section on the DAT. And then most of them want about a 3.0 or higher as the bare cutoff minimum for GPA to be considered. If you're below that, the consideration factors are, you're kind of put in a pile that you're not as considered. But every school is kind of different of how much weight they put into the academics versus the whole body of work. So for example, some schools are very heavy on the academic side and account about 2/3 of their the applicant score, if they score each applicant to the academics, and others it's divided more equally between your volunteering, your extracurricular experiences, and so on. But academics often play a huge part in getting your foot in the door.
Okay, what's like the most experiences that if you have, they would count it like as a huge step to dental school?
Like what's probably the best experience that you could get? Is that what you're kind of asking?
Yeah.
I would say one of the most impressive experiences that schools really like is they like volunteering and consistency with volunteering. So picking one organization and having worked with them for a long period of time, whether it's 6 months or a year or multiple years, the longer it is, the better. You don't need tons of little volunteering experiences, but staying with one volunteering experience for a long time is very important to schools. And then I would say lab experience, dental lab experience. If you can get some dental lab experience, that is one of the most impressive things that schools really like.
Wait, what do you mean by lab dental experience?
Yep. So working in a dental lab. So a lot of students like assisting, and assisting is wonderful, but working in a dental lab, making dentures, waxing up crowns, things like that, where they fabricate the things that like like a crown or a veneer or whatever. That experience is super valuable to schools because it's very hands-on and it trains you more than assisting jobs would.
Because dental assistant also might work.
Assisting is wonderful. It is a common thing that students see, so it doesn't pop off the page as much to them anymore. So assisting is a wonderful thing to do, but lab jobs, working in a dental lab, is even a level above.
When we applying for example, I'm applying this cycle, I'm a little bit late. Do they still review my application as if I submit it like early?
No, it's viewed differently. I will be honest there. So applying early is a very, very important factor for a lot of these schools. So for example, Marquette, if you are not applying within the first month, they count it late. And late applicants get a look later on in the cycle. Okay. Now every school once again handles this a little bit differently of when they look at it, but we're kind of once you're past the beginning of August, it's starting to get late in the cycle for submitting.
I heard that when you're doing the application for dental school, like everything has to match up because they also look at the structure of the application cycle. Like what's most importantly to look at? Like making everything is just standing on and not missing like for example like a dot or something, you know what I mean?
So are you talking like punctuation or are you talking like
Like the ideas, like for example, they say on my personal statement, like I wrote
uh,
how I joined in the art club and stuff like that. There in another section on the application, I remember we also had to like write like the art experience. Like does it has to match the same thing, right? And the timings and stuff.
yes, like when you are putting in your experiences, you're saying and matching it. So
Mhm.
yes, they do want to see they match. I would say it's an important thing. They more want to see consistency in your character more than anything. So like if what you're writing in your personal statement and your essays is not consistent with the experiences you're putting in, it's less important that like the timing is exactly the same, but it's more important that they're seeing like, oh no, she actually does art and teaches art or is part of the art club. Like and
Okay.
she's done extra things with art. That you're not exaggerating your experience that you've had, whether in your essay or your personal statement. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it does. What's like one question that it's repetitive during all interviews? Like they keep asking. Because I know they ask different questions, but is
Oh,
there like a specific question that they might ask?
yeah. I would say probably the most common question that we see is why do you want to come to this specific school is one, and why dentistry? It's those two questions are probably the most common that you're going to hear in almost every single interview in some way, shape, or form. So those two questions you can almost take to the bank that almost every school is going to ask you.
Had one more question. Oh my God, it popped out of my head regarding the dental school application. So okay, I did the certified dental assistant program, but I wasn't licensed for it. Under what category would it go on the dental application? Would it go under achievements, or can I put it like under academics, like honors or something?
Good question. So you received a certificate for it, correct? And was it a schooling experience? It was a schooling experience, correct? Like you got
Yes.
grades and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
would probably put it under academics, and then I would put your certificate under like there's like a certificates and achievement section, which you alluded to. I would also just put that you received the certificate.
Okay.
So I would put it under both, and I would under the academic section, I would describe what your experience was in the educational part and what you learned specifically. And then under
Okay.
the certificate part, I would just say receive my certificate for dental assisting.
Okay. So I would write that in the description that I received it.
Yep.
Okay. And this section was on like license. Like what type of license do they want us to put there?
Yeah, so the licenses, this is a section that often trips students up. Most students don't have licenses that they can add
Mm,
here. Most of the time, this licenses section is for like a career change student that maybe had like, an electrical engineering license, or they were in the medical field and they had like a phlebotomy certification, or
okay.
they switched from something else. So in terms of licenses, I would say for most younger students that know that this is dentistry is their path from the beginning, aren't going to have a license of any kind that they're going to add to that section. So they're going to leave it blank.
Okay. Is there anything that we could do, like since I'm in my gap year, like a license I can do that is regarding dentistry that can help me?
Not necessarily in this case. I
Okay.
honestly think this section is a little silly on the application, if I'm being honest. Um, that is not going to be, there's no license that you can necessarily get. So another place that this has helped, like for students, is if they're like an international student, they had their dental license in another country, you know, and,
Oh,
and
okay.
so
Yeah.
that's another example of how this license thing would work, but it's nothing that I would necessarily worry about per se, if that makes sense.
Okay. I also have another question. So, you know, when you go and they interview you, they want you to ask them questions. And
Mhm.
I heard that ask them questions about the school you're going to. Like, what are questions that I can ask them that like will stand out, should I say?
Yeah, so I would one make sure you do your research on the school before you go. Okay,
Okay.
make sure you go to the school's website and check out what they're all about, what's their mission statement, what's their core values. I would ask questions one on what volunteer opportunities do they have in the school to give back to the community, okay?
Okay.
Because schools often, that's what they look for in applicants, and they want to see that's a part of you and who you are as a person, okay?
Okay.
So that would be a question I would ask. And then another question I would potentially ask would be about the what they deem is the most valuable part of their curriculum. Okay. And so it gives them a chance to toot their own horn. Everyone feels better when they are able to kind of brag about themselves, and then it leaves them feeling on a high note about you because they left on a high note about sharing about their school.
So what if they found you nervous? Will like the picture of them change? Because
If
I know
they
they
if they
said that you
see
have
that
to
you're
be
nervous
confident.
during the interview, is that what you're saying? Um,
Yeah.
so the of how they view you may change, yes, and so that's why it's important to practice when you're interview prepping and make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you're making sure that you're calm and collected, and you practice some general responses of how to respond. They know everyone's nervous when they go. It's a big deal. And so they get it, but I think they want to see how are you going to handle the nerves. They expect people to be nervous. And so they want
Okay.
to be able to see that after the first minute or two, you're able to settle in and kind of get comfortable. So excellent. Any final questions, Haneen, before we let you go for today?
I think you answered all the questions.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you, Haneen, once again for joining us on this segment of the Dental School Guide podcast. We are super excited that you were able to join us. So we will catch you all in the next episode, and thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you so much.
That's all for today's episode of the Dental School Guide podcast. We hope you've gained valuable insights and inspiration to fuel your journey into dentistry. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more expert advice, inside tips, and engaging discussions. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review. It would mean the world to us. Until next time, keep smiling, keep striving, and remember, your dental dreams are closer than you think. Thanks for tuning in to the Dental School Guide podcast.